Hey guys, Eric Oliverson here, Eric's Elite Guide Service in Branson, Missouri. We're on our favorite lake, Table Rock Lake, and it's pre-spawn time. I'm going to show you guys how to catch some fish on a jerkbait in that pre-spawn mode. Actually, I'm in Scott Martin's boat. He was nice enough to let me borrow it, but we're out here. I'm going to show you some tips on this jerkbait fishing. There's several different types of jerkbaits that I really like, but there's two that really stand out, and a couple different brands are a Mega Bass. This is a very popular Vision 110. This is one of those unique colors. It's got kind of a chartreuse belly and a bone, purple back. Purple is real popular in these Ozark Highland reservoirs. There's a lot of bluegill, and I think that's the reason why. But really the chartreuse, that's a big deal here when you've got lakes that have a lot of smallmouth. They really like those hot colors. So, you know, something with a real realistic finish like this. This is a Vision 110, or actually this is an RC stick, and this is in the popular Pro Blue color. It's just natural. We have super gin clear water here, so a lot of those days where you don't have a lot of wind, you can't get away with those bright colors. So this real natural looking bait fish jerkbait really works well. Now on your cloudy days, I go back to the old Smithwick Rogue, and this is really the original jerkbait. This is one that we all started and have fished forever, but it still catches fish. And the price tag's a lot better than a lot of these more expensive Japanese jerkbaits, and they still work awesome. But on a cloudy day, especially on these clear water lakes, these highland reservoirs, this bone color or white color, very popular color. But let's get after it. I'm gonna show you how it's done. So this is exactly really what I'm looking for. This is really a perfect scenario. You've got a lot of pea gravel, flatter type point, and it comes into this transition where you've got bigger rocks, and it's actually got even like boulder size rocks. But this is what you want to look for. You've got pretty good water depth right here. We're in 23, 24 foot of water. There's a lot of times that, you know, when you have this deep water access, you've got fish that are going to move up there shallow, and then you've got fish that can come all the way out here. But on a day like today, this is perfect. We've got bright blue skies. We've got a little bit of wind blowing right in on this pre-spawn bank, and this is just absolutely perfect. We ought to catch a smallmouth or a big old spot. We may even catch a big old largemouth here. You know, another popular way of working a jerkbait is when the water's a little bit cooler. You know, maybe in the 40s or even the upper 30s. Here in the Midwest, our lakes never freeze, but those fish will get lethargic. They'll still eat, and they'll still eat a jerkbait, but you really got to slow down. That's when it's real important to let your bait rest a little bit. And you know, it's kind of an old wives' tale. A lot of the old guys around here say that they used to smoke a cigarette in between pauses, but I don't have that type of patience. So a long pause for me is about 10 seconds. But you know, the type of structure that we look for, especially during that period of time, is those fish will hang around cedar trees and suspend in cedar trees. So it's real important when you're working that jerkbait, get it as close to the trees as you can, get it down there, and then you want to let it sit for as long as you can stand it next to that tree. And that's when those big heads come out and bite this jerkbait next to those cedar trees. Right at the boat. These things are so aggressive. I bet it's a smallmouth. Yeah. Come in here, baby. Not a great big one, but he sure hit it like a ton of bricks. That's such a nice thing about that jerkbait, man. They get all these trebles in them. Not a great big one, but we'll sure take him. This is really my setup for jerkbait fishing. I like a real limber rod. So I'm 6'3". I like a 7-foot rod. This is medium light. It's got a real light tip. So it's got some give. When you're really jerking that bait real hard, it can take the shock out of it. You get a lot of those fish, especially if you're fishing a lot of smallmouth lakes, and they'll come up and just freight line it, and that'll help you keep all those hooked. Okay, and this is 10-pound line. I use fluorocarbon line. It sinks. I want a bait that sinks, and I want that line to help that. Guys, I hope these tips helped you when you're approaching a lake, Highland Reservoir here in the Ozarks, when you're jerkbait fishing in the spring.